A very good day. You're watching BNC Africa. I am Sylvia Msukwini and this is your midweek report. In a local news, men arrested after human body parts were found in a fridge appears in court. The men arrested after human body parts were discovered in a fridge in Soweto, Johannesburg at the weekend appeared in the Protea Glen Magistrate Court on Monday. Flavio Tlabangwane, 26 years of age, was arrested after his partner allegedly discovered the body parts at his home in Pretoria Glen. Police spokesperson Brigadier Brenda Muridili said an off-duty police officer living in the area responded to the crime scene. Police say the suspect is a tenant living in the back room of the house. His partner discovered the body parts after he left to go to the shops on Saturday. After the discovery, Tlabangwane stabbed himself in an alleged suicide attempt and was admitted to hospital. He has been discharged and appeared in court. Muridili said she said the body parts would be sent to a forensic science laboratory for identification. The case was postponed to November 22. Muridili said the case has now been taken over by the Provincial Occult-Related Crime Investigations Team. In other news, unemployment rifle in South Africa, Anita Gele is a marketing diploma graduate. She says she's been trying to find a job in her field for 3 years. She resorted to an unconventional way of making money.
Job in October 2018. It's been 3 years.
I lost a job in October 2018. It has been 3 years looking for a job, applying everywhere. What I basically do is do what most people do not want to do. I started working as a runner and going to small street, doing ironing. I go stand in queues at home affairs for people. So I do all these things to get money to buy things like cosmetics.
A Johannesburg-based hotel which uses automated robot staff had caused some stir as the unemployment rate rises in the country. Hotel Sky is the first African hotel to deploy robot staff members.
A Johannesburg-based hotel which uses automated robot staff had caused some stir as the unemployment rate rises in the country. Hotel Sky is the first African hotel to deploy robot staff members.
There's a job that the robots can do that is literally doing a welcome at the front desk, and it's something new and it's something different. You're going to have weekend trade, which is going to be hugely enticed by the robots, what the robots can do. But there's also the side where we're going to make sure that you're going to need a person at like our banqueting venues, that this is great for a welcome, but that's where it's going to start and stop.
One of the practical solutions proposed by the business expert is raising taxes to subsidize the unemployment of young South Africans. In business news, Heineken to acquire South African and Namibian brewers. Dutch brewing giant Heineken will buy a majority stake in brewers in South Africa and Namibia companies, said on Monday, creating a booze behemoth in a region currently dominated by rival Anheuser-Busch InBev. Heineken plans to acquire South Africa's Distell and Namibia breweries in a combined deal valued at around $4.6 billion, which is equivalent to 4 billion euros. Distell CEO Richard Rushton sees the deal as having the potential to leverage the strength of Heineken's global footprint with our leading brands to create a formidable, diverse beverage company for Africa. Amsterdam-based Heineken is the world's #2 brewer behind the Belgian-Brazilian giant AB InBev. In 2016, AB InBev took over South African breweries as part of a blockbuster Sepp Miller buyout and enjoys an estimated 80% of the beer market by volume in South Africa. South African government withdraws support for Miss SA ahead of Miss Universe pageant in Israel. The government has withdrawn its support for the Miss South Africa pageant after it was unable to convince organizers to pull out of the Miss Universe pageant, which will be held in Israel in December. In a statement on Sunday, the Department of Sports and Arts and Culture announced it would no longer support the pageant because of Miss South Africa organizers' insistence and disregard of advice against the sending Miss SA Lalela Mswane to compete in the Miss Universe pageant. The department said atrocities committed by Israel against the Palestinians were well documented, and the government, as the legitimate representative of the people of South Africa, could not in good conscience associate itself with such. It also added appreciated the individual interest of Msukwini and the impact it would have on her if she withdrew from competing with Miss Universe. But the reasons which required withdrawal far outweighed individual interest. After the break, we look at our African stories.
What do most banks know about simplicity? About what it means to live better?
Do you really need all those accounts that cost you more just because you earn more?
And the hoops you have to jump through for the free rewards that you hardly ever use. Aren't you just tired of it? What if I told you there's a simpler way? A bank that takes all the complexity of banking and turns it on its head. Capitec is doing just that, using technology to cut the cost of banking and put the value back in your pocket with Live Better benefits that you can get immediately, making you feel valued when you need it most. Here's a bank that invests in innovative solutions to simplify your life so that you can live better. Simplify banking. Live better.
Welcome back from the break. You're still watching BNC Africa. These are your African news. In African news, coordinated suicide attacks in Ugandan capital kill at least 3 and injure dozens. Twin blast in the busy heart of Ugandan capital, Kampala, killed at least 3 people on Tuesday, and at least 24 other people were wounded, a health ministry spokesperson said. While no group immediately claimed responsibility, a spokesperson, Fred Enanga, said the explosions were suicide attacks carried out by 3 attackers. One blast took place outside Kampala's Central Police Station and other near the parliamentary building. Scenes broadcast on local news channels showed bloodied office workers fleeing from the sites of the explosions, which took place just after 10 a.m. on Tuesday. And hours later, downtown Kampala streets were nearly emptied. The apparent attacks were the latest in the string of bombings in Uganda attributed to regional terrorist groups. On October 23, an explosion at a restaurant in a Kampala suburb killed 1 person and injured 7. And 2 days later, a suicide bomber detonated his explosives on a bus, killing only himself. The Allied Democratic Forces, or ADF, an Islamist group that originated rather in Uganda but now mostly operates in remote areas of the neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo, claimed the restaurant attack, a concerned crackdown by Ugandan forces, had surpassed ADF activity in the country in recent years. The U.S. State Department considers the ADF to be a wing of the Islamic State, but details of coordinating between the two groups remain murky. The worst attack in recent memory in Uganda was in 2010 bombing of multiple bars by the Somali Islamist group Al-Shabaab. Revelers were watching the World Cup in the bars and 74 people were killed. Uganda is a major supplier of troops to the African Union-sponsored military deployment in Somalia, which seeks to degrade Al-Shabaab, as we're also going to be showing CCTV footage of the terrorist attacker in action.
This is the first one at CPS. This is the suicide bomber.
In other African news, Ethiopian police detains ethnic Tigrayans on suspicion. Turning to Ethiopia now, where the civil war has turned into a battle of ethnicities. The civil war in Ethiopia has turned into a battle of ethnicities. On target are ethnic Tigrayans, and some of them have declared war on the government. They are marching towards the capital to seize control. Here's a report on that.
The civil war in Ethiopia is escalating. What started as a political conflict has now turned into an ethnic battle. Ethiopia is an ethnically diverse country. It's made up of 7 major ethnic groups: Oromo, Amhara, Somali, Tigray, Sidamo, Gurage, and Waleta. In the current conflict, ethnic Tigrayans are at war with the government. They live primarily in the Tigray region. This is where the conflict began last year. It has now spilled over to the rest of the country. Paramilitary Tigrayan forces are marching towards Ethiopia's capital. They plan to topple the government of Abiy Ahmed. Fearing this might come true, the government has declared a state of emergency. It is carrying out arbitrary detentions of ethnic Tigrayans, even those who are not revolting. From bank CEOs to lawyers to priests, even local United Nations officials, no one is being spared. On November 4th, the Ethiopian police detained Tadel Gebramedin, a lawyer handling the cases of detainees. Days later, the police detained Daniel Tekeste, the CEO of Lion Bank. Then 37 religious workers were arrested from 4 churches in Addis Ababa. This was followed by the detention of 16 UN officials. And now, 72 workers of the World Food Programme have been arrested. What's common between all these detentions? The detainees are mostly Tigrayans. What's their fault? Their ethnicity. It no longer matters if they're against the state or not.
They're Ethiopians, they are UN staff members, and we would like to see them released, regardless of whatever ethnicity is listed on their identity cards.
The crackdown is intensifying. It threatens to divide Ethiopia further. People are being held without credible evidence. Tigrayans living abroad are protesting, asking why their community is being targeted.
You're still watching BNC News Africa. I am Sylvia Msukwini. Thank you for watching the Midweek Report. Adios.